What's up everyone, my name is John, you're watching ARTV Reviews, and it's time for a review of the 7th studio album by metalcore band August Burns Red. It's titled Found in Far Away Places. I've had a pretty good amount of requests for this album, so I wanted to briefly get into it, talk about my history with the band. I kind of got into them briefly, maybe around 2006. Their early years, they've actually been around for quite a while, and as you can see, they have 7 albums under their belt at this point. I guess you could throw them in the metalcore category, but I've always seen them as someone that kind of stood above the tendencies that all of these other bands fall into. The ruts, the cliches, the tried and true music that just doesn't have any heart to it. And while I did not find the past couple of releases from August Burns Red to be that interesting, back in the day, me and a lot of my friends were really into this band. They were definitely popular with the Christian hardcore community. They definitely have religious themes in their music, and I'm not saying that that's an overpowering theme that you're just going to hear bled into every single song, but it's definitely something that's there. Now, going into this new record, it had been a long time since I had listened to August Burns Red. I'm not going to lie to you there. Revisited a few songs just to kind of get me back into the spirit of this band's music, and it reminded me of just what they had going for them. I like that they have this heart about their music. There's something that goes into it. It's not just these screams in vain, if you will. It's something that they actually feel like they're fighting for something, like a rallying cry on each and every record. Now, going into some of these songs, I wasn't really expecting to be blown away, and I'm not saying that I necessarily was, but this is a solid album. I think it's a lot better than what I've heard from them in the past half decade or so. Some of these tracks have these really nice instrumental interludes in them, and it just feels like perfect. It feels at home. It feels like what August Burns Red does best. They have these hard-hitting intros, guitars that will really grab you, some really inventive riffs. Something that I'm really digging about this record is just the complex guitar playing that goes on behind the scenes. And then they have these kind of breaks in the middle of the songs. I'll call it a habit, not necessarily a bad habit, but it's definitely something they keep in their back pocket. I think it's something that they rely on to really build one of their longer songs, add something more to it. Now, there's one track in particular that really just kind of blew me away, Separating the Seas. Just the middle of that song, the instrumental interlude on this thing. It has these strings right in the middle of it that remind me of something like The Bird and the Worm by rock band The Used. Then the guitars start coming in and they remind me of something almost like Spanish or Western leaning, and then the drums fire at will, the screams come back in, and it just kind of took me by surprise. It was something that came out of left field, but I thought that this band really pulled off an eclectic range of instrumentation quite well. Now, I will say that this song took a little bit for it to really take off. I didn't really find it that interesting or ear-grabbing whenever I first listened to it, but more and more, the more you go into it, the more solid it sounds. The Wake is the opening track on this record, and the first one that we got on the album. It's one of those super hard-hitting tracks that's just not, I'm not going to say stereotypical August Burns Red, but it's definitely something that they're known for. It gets your attention and wakes you up, if you will. 21 Grams is another track that really just caught my attention. The guitar in the middle of this song is infectious as hell. Really powerful riffs that just blast in out of nowhere, something totally fresh. It's not every single day or every single album I listen to that I have something grab me as much as that one did. So that one's another highlight for me, as well as the track Ghost, which features Jeremy of A Day to Remember. Ghost is definitely another standout on this record, with a menacing pace and payoff after a solid build-up to it. I won't call it the most inventive thing in the world in terms of the message of this song. I think it's something that kind of tries to relate, like just being invisible, being a ghost to maybe not a significant other, but really to just people in general, not being heard, your voice is being shut down and that sort of thing. And I think it's solid enough. It definitely fits with the vibe and the mood and the tone that this song is putting off, so I think it still works based on those merits. I don't really go for tracks that feel a little bit too standard, like Broken Promises and Identity, the latter of those being probably the biggest offender of that on the record, but fortunately those moments are pretty much few and far in between. I think moments like that come whenever the vocalist Jake Lors, I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right, just seems like he's not really putting his heart and soul into it like I feel on some of these other tracks. And I'm not going to call myself a huge fan of necessarily his voice or this style of music, because that would be a lie, but I can still appreciate when something is done well. August Burns Red are something I cannot listen to every single day. It's not something that I get into at all times, but I will say that this album has been something that I've been into for the past couple of days, at least the majority of the tracks. Some of the tracks do have a very distinct personality about them though that keep me coming back to them, at least they have over the past couple of days, and I'm not sure how they'll hold up with time, but tracks like Martyr have some lyrical content that I really get into. There's a line on there that Lors screams, "You've been a hypocrite for years, drawing swords as much as you draw their tears," pretty much referring to those that play the role of the martyr like they're being persecuted when in reality they're just being dramatic for attention, and he's basically calling people out on that. And I'm sure that that's definitely something that's been said plenty of times before, but it's something that I see so much in society, so many fake people, and it's just like they need to be called out on their bullshit, and this is one song that does it, so yeah, you can count me in here. Like I said, this type of music isn't always my cup of tea. The vocals are a little bit intense for me at times, so personally I'm gonna go with a 3.5 out of 5 for Found in Far Away Places by August Burns Red. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video and maybe subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. Share the review with another fan of August Burns Red if you care to. That would be great, help the channel keep growing, and if there's other albums you want to see me discuss, let me know about them in the comments. You can always click right here or right here to go to either my last review that I did or else my vlog channel, or you can find all of the links in the description down below along with more information about the album. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.